spot that, he'll use a majority of pitches there. Good curveball over the top, straight down. The tighter breaking curve is more effective than his slower looping curve. He's got a good changeup that he mixes in, and occasionally he'll throw a cutter this year. A couple of quick pitches that he's picked up on since Cueto's been here. But look, he's been solid. 3 quality starts in his last, and he's kept the ball in the yard all 3 last starts except one time he gave up a homer. So he's been good at keeping it in the yard.
Bill Welke will call the balls and strikes with the crew chief John Hirschbeck at first base, his 33rd year as a big league umpire. John Tumpane is at second, and Joe West in his 38th year as a big league umpire is at third. Mentioned the curveball, HUD. When Ventura pitched Saturday at Boston, he got the win. He struck out 6 in 6 innings. 5 of those strikeouts were with his curveball.
And it's deceptive, but it comes out of the same plane as the fastball. So when it has tight break going down, that hitter, it looks like out of his release point it's going to be a fastball, but then the bottom falls out and you can't hit it.
And his first pitch after a 1 hour 15-minute rain delay, and it's in for a strike to Manny Machado, who hit one of the 5 Baltimore home runs last night. His was the first and tied the game at 2. 1 ball, 1 strike. Little bit inside. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Machado's been extremely aggressive so far early in the counts in this series so far. He has a good power to pull power, but he can go all fields.
2-2. Full count on Machado, who is playing in his 127th game. It's the Orioles' 127th game, so he's been there for all of them. Last year they only got 82 games out of Machado, and then he had to have knee surgery and was not available for the postseason. And he's given the Orioles 26 home runs. Today he will begin the game with a walk.
There's his repertoire right there. Fastball, curveball, changeup, very few cutter, sliders. He doesn't really need those. Dave Eiland last year didn't want to see him throw any cutters. They wanted him to establish those 3 pitches, and when they're on, they're tough to square up. Fastball's been the pitch that he throws the most and sometimes makes the most mistakes with, but when he's on the corners and he's up in the zone, for at least when he's ahead in the count, they're hard to square up.
Parra pulls the first pitch foul.
Sun's even coming out. I like it. Beautiful day.
Parra has been the hottest hitter in baseball since the middle of June, if you go by batting average, but the Royals have kept him mostly quiet in this series. Ventura throws a fastball by him. No balls, 2 strikes. The Orioles only scored 5 runs in the first 2 games of the series combined, and then they busted out for 8 last night. So they're hoping for a 4-game split, and the Royals have their sights set on taking 3 out of 4.
Yordano Ventura, difficult to steal off of. Machado, he's their leading base stealer with 16. That's the pitch you want to go on if you're going to try. But in Yordano's 312 2/3 innings, only 2 players have ripped a bag off of him. That's pretty impressive. He's quick home with the velocity on his fastball. If Salvi gets a good handle on it, he's to throw the guys out. So we'll see if Machado wants to go. Those two players, Joey Gallo and Yoenis Cespedes. Only two in his career that have ripped him off successfully.
Maybe Cespedes you'd expect to try and steal a base, but not Joey Gallo. There's that breaking ball, and remember, he struck out 5 with that pitch on Saturday at Boston, and that's how he gets his first strikeout today.
He teases them with that hard heater, and gets those hitters looking for it, and then he drops the hammer. There it is, straight down. Great angle. Start your swing, it's hard to stop it.
And now Adam Jones. He has 24 home runs, 66 driven in, and like Parra, has done very little in this series with the bat. Jones is 0 for his last 11. He did hit a 2-run home run on Monday night in the first inning against Chris Medlin, but very little offensively since.
In case you're wondering, Ventura's had guys grounded to 7 double plays. And you probably want to know what Adam Jones has done and how many times he's hit into a ground ball double play. 16 times leads the team. Lane ball candidate right here.
Inside again, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Yordano is a bundle of energy. He's very confident, he's aggressive, and he's learned how to pull back and harness. And that's one of the reasons why he's been so successful here in the second half of the season. I think Rhino, since they optioned him to Omaha on July 21st, and then Vargas got hurt and he was recalled the next day, he didn't even pitch a day in the minors, but I think that woke him up a little bit. Then with the addition of Cueto, now he's saying, oh my gosh, I got another chance and I want to look good for my new teammate. It's really changed his focus.
Still 2-2. Jones is not up there to walk. He is very difficult to walk. 2 years ago, he had a stretch of 43 games in between walks. So especially with 2 strikes here, if it's anywhere close to the plate, he's going to be swinging. Perez sets up down and away. And the pitch is down and away. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Chris Davis waits on deck, and he had one of the 5 home runs last night. Jones does walk, so Ventura has walked 2 in the top of the first inning, and that puts 2 on for the middle of the order.
Yep, little bit of overthrowing by Ventura so far early. When you overthrow, shoulder usually comes out, pulls off, arm drags behind, and you leave it up out of the zone. This guy right here is dangerous. So look at how easy that swing looked. Wow, that looked effortless. This guy's got a natural home run stroke, 2nd in the league behind Nelson Cruz in dingers.
'91 driven in with more than a month to go in the regular season, and he has Machado at second, Jones at first with 1 out. High fastball swung on and miss at 99 miles an hour.
You can tell this whole series, Royals pitching has been trying to get him up. It's extremely dangerous with a ball down. Ooh.
Slide step.
Yeah. 100 miles an hour. You got a long swing, that ball's going to be blown by you.
Too high. 1-2 on Davis. And now 2 balls, 2 strikes. A lot of standing around on defense as Ventura walked Machado, then he struck out Parra, and then he walked Jones. And there was already a lull created after a 1 hour 15-minute rain delay.
I can tell he's overthrowing, and if you look at the velocity, there it is. His average fastball when he's pitching to defense is 96 miles an hour. Pitching to that contact. He got another punch out.
So walk, strikeout, and now 2 on, 2 out in the first inning.
Another high fastball. You see how Davis has that natural uppercut swing, and you can't hit a pitch at that velocity with an uppercut. That top hand's going to have to come into play. That or you're better off taking it.
And now Matt Wieters, who will serve as the designated hitter. Caleb Joseph will catch today for the Orioles. Machado's at second, Jones is at first. 99 with that fastball, and it's 0-1. One ball, 1 strike. Good breaking ball. This has been discussed many times lately in talking about Ventura this year versus last year. Last year he pitched very well with men on base and with runners in scoring position. It has been a struggle for him this year, but he's pulled that back together in his last 3 starts and gave the Red Sox a bad time with men on Saturday, and that time he tried to speed up his delivery to Wieters, who fouled it away. 6 innings, 1 run against Boston on Saturday. The Red Sox were 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. And when they had a base runner on against Ventura, base runner or base runners, they were just 2 for 13. And now with 2 on, Ventura gets out of it. So he walks 2 and he strikes out 3.
Hard throwing or not, that hammer's working. And Wieters, you got to go.
Our Toyota league leaders for today. Now overall, the Royals are 7th in the league in runs scored, but they are among the league leaders when it comes to big offensive games. Only the Blue Jays have had more games with 5 or more runs than the Royals. Ben Zobrist is the DH, as Paulo Orlando is in left field. Eric Hosmer is out today, so Kendrys Morales plays at first, and Lorenzo Cain also gets the day off. Gerard Dyson will be in center field against Chris Tillman. Like Yordano Ventura is essentially always pitching out of the stretch. He has a slight modification when he is pitching out of the windup.
Nope, he's a good pitcher. He's been pretty hot lately too. See that curveball there? Last 9 starts, 4-1 record. It's been really good. Opponent's average 256, kind of middle of the road. 91 strikeouts, so he's got a little bit of strikeout ability.
Machado cuts that ground ball off and takes care of Escobar. Tillman is pitching with the stingiest defense in the American League, if you're talking about errors, as the Orioles have only committed 53 all season.
Yeah, I know it's a good defense, and also the Orioles lead the majors with 37 outfield assists. Tillman, look what he's done to the running game. He's been good. Quick home. He's got a nice move over to first base. The Royals are 2nd in the league in steals with 83 behind Houston. And there's his pitches. Fastball, curveball, changeup, cutter. Fastball will average about 91, 92. He's got some 94 in the tank. He adds and subtracts with that pitch. Curveball, change. That's what he got Escobar out on with a changeup.
Zobrist has 4 hits, and he's reached with 4 walks in the first 3 games of the series, and he scored 4 times. As Tillman misses inside, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Zobrist has 3 home runs in his career off of Tillman and 6 hits.
Ball is carrying today, and Jones won't get there. And Jones hit the wall hard as the ball bounces up into the crowd. And left fielder Steve Pearce is very concerned. He is trying to get the Orioles training staff out to left center field as quickly as possible, as Adam Jones on a dead sprint did not get the ball, and then he went face first into that wire screen in front of the scoreboard.
Richie Bancels, head athletic trainer, getting a lot of work out here on this one here. Watch this now. The ball just keeps carrying. The wind pushing it to left center. Adam Jones tracking it, and then lost his balance and just did a face plant right into that center field, left center field wall. And like you mentioned, Rhino, that's a wire type substance there with a scoreboard behind it. And it can, you can see the wires in the fence. It can be challenging.
And I didn't see much give when he hit that fence.
No. So lots of times when an outfielder crashes into a wall, he'll put his hands up, and sometimes it's his wrist. Let's see what happens here. To brace the fall. There's his right hand. Let me see. Yep, both hands up. Facial. And he's standing up at least now. Now, it's a good thing that ball bounced over the fence, because Zobrist could have had a triple, maybe more, if it stays in the park.
That is a veteran trainer move right there. When a player hits the wall that hard, one thing may hurt more than anything else, but as you were saying, Hud, he was also checking out his wrists, he was checking out his shoulder, so maybe his face hurts more, his neck hurts, or his shoulder, whatever. But sometimes when a a player hits the wall that hard, we find out the next day that 2 or 3 other things were bruised.
Yeah, well, it looks like he's going to stay in the game. Manager Buck Showalter knows how important he is to his team. Zobrist continues to rake here at the K. .436 average at home.
Jones now is reminded of the situation. A runner at second base, 1 out. He's one of the most liked guys in the game by players on other teams. So the Royals, while they wouldn't miss Jones being on the bench and those 4 Gold Gloves on the bench, are relieved, I'm sure, that Jones is all right. So Zobrist at second, 1 out to Kendrys Morales. He bats third today with Kane getting the day off. Morales has homered and driven in 2 in this series, and he has walked 3 times.
5 for 9 off of Tillman. Curveball not working there. Morales has been doing a great job of driving in runs all year. Obviously, we showed you the number of RBIs, but it's .353 average with runners in scoring position. Very consistent. Both sides of the plate, it doesn't matter. Hits the ball where it's pitched. Great hand-eye coordination. He'll go to left field as well as pull it from this side of the plate.
Down and away, 2-1. Tied with J.D. Martinez and Jose Bautista for third in the American League. Baltimore's Chris Davis is second, and Josh Donaldson is up over 100. 2-2.
Tillman got that fastball by him there, but I think Morales, I think he's looking soft on Tillman. Tillman's been throwing curves and changeups to him.
Off of Tillman. That kept the ball on the infield. Morales is out. Tillman immediately tells the dugout he's fine. Zobrist goes to third, so that saved a run, as there was no Oriole infielder behind Chris Tillman.
Too bad for Morales. That's some bad luck there. He tried another piece of cheese, and that ball was crushed. Hit it right back at him. Hit him on the inside of the left leg. He'll have a nice mark there in a couple days.
He is a big man, Tillman, 6'5", 210 pounds. And now Mike Moustakas has a 7-game hitting streak. And in those 7 games, 4 home runs, 10 runs driven in. Tillman throws a fastball strike. We remind you to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Okay, look at that defense there. They're kind of straight up on Moose.
And most of those hits over the streak have been big hits. Trying to give the Royals the lead in the bottom of the first inning with Zobrist at third. 2-1. And with Kane and Hosmer out, Moustakas bats cleanup today, the first time this year, and the 28th time in his career. 3-1. Perez is next.
That changeup there, or any fastball that's belt high and middle away, just mark it down, a base hit to left field. Moose has been swinging a hot bat, and when you're in a tree like he's in, your eyes recognize those mistakes right away, and you don't miss them. Ooh, good change there. Good spot.
Back with a fastball at 94, and it's fouled away.
Three and two. Moose is looking fastball all the way, and looks like Joseph's calling for it.
And it was up and out of the strike zone. Zobrist doubles and is stranded at third base. No score at the end of one.
And down by the Diamond Club, a chance to visit right now with a wonderful lady, Jennifer Hudler, Rex's wife, and you and Hud have a, by the way, you call him Hud too, right?
I do.
All right, because he never said,
among
other things. Okay, you guys have a great event coming up here a week from Sunday. Tell us about the special day.
Right. Sunday, September 6th is Special Day at the K, sponsored by Team Up for Down Syndrome and the Royals. We're going to honor Doc Hunsley, who is the founder of the SOAR program. It's a program in the Kansas City area that supports families that have special needs. They have a respite night once a month, and it's a fabulous program. And so we're going to raise funds and raise awareness that day for that program.
Okay, why and when did you guys form Team Up for Down Syndrome?
Team Up for Down Syndrome was formed 17 years ago, actually, in honor of our son, Cade. Cade has Down syndrome, or as Rex likes to put it, he has Up syndrome. And so we wanted to support the community. It was really, in the beginning, just parents healing and helping one another. And so over the years, we've done a lot of fundraising and awareness, and we're hoping to continue that mission here in Kansas City.
I wanted to ask you about that. What are some of the goals and the missions going forward?
Okay. Well, our mission statement is to support housing, health research, job training, family counseling, education, and other worthwhile causes. And some of those other worthwhile causes are social or educational endeavors, sports themes. And so we helped build an all-access baseball field in the past, and so that's one of our goals for the future, to do that in the Kansas City area and support the special needs community.
I truly can say that Cade does have Up syndrome. Great catch there. No, it's going to pop out, and so it'll just be a double. Thought Dyson was going to track that down, but before he finished up, I mean, Kate, he truly is an up syndrome kid. I remember going over to the house. You guys had a party last year, and I mean, there he was at the door to greet everyone, show them around the house. That incredible energy.
Yeah, he's very passionate and he loves people. Is very social. The social aspect for kids with special needs is so important too. Education is very important, but socially, we want to get them out here to the ballpark. We encourage families to come that day. It's hard for people that have families with special needs sometimes to get to the ballpark because they're not sure how their kid's going to react, and so we're going to have a ball that day. It's Family Fun Day Sunday, and so they'll be able to go out on the field, and if folks want to come and help us out, they can go to royals.com/special day and get tickets and join us on Sunday, September 6th.
Love it, Jennifer. Thanks to you and Hud. And the last question I have, I think everybody wants to know, because people ask me all the time, is Hud really the same way off the air that he is on the air? And I say, no, he really is the same off the air as on the air. So is he really walking around the house the same as he is? We see him every day?
Hud has an agenda when his eyes open. He's ready to meet the day, and yes, he's pretty much what you see.
You get some shock the houses and call the cops in the house?
Well, we don't get that, but there's a lot of excitement, let me tell you, a lot.
All right, that is reserved for us, all of those. And Hud, as you often say, you have very much overachieved.
Outpunted my coverage, Joel, like you, Rhino, and Holtzy. All of us did, buddy. Thank you so much.
Why haven't we had her on before?
No question. Well, they asked me earlier, Hud, why don't you explain what's going on? I said, no. I'm not doing that. Let the president of the organization talk about
yeah.
it. Yeah.
No kidding. Anytime we can get a huddler on who speaks English fluently is better for the broadcast.
I totally agree. But how about Ventura's breaking ball again? We talked about it before the game, how many strikeouts he had in Boston with it. That is a special pitch following that massive fastball he's got in. And the hitters, they're guessing fastball, but because it comes out of that same release point, it tricks them. That's simple.
Well, again, against the Red Sox on Saturday, 6 strikeouts, 5 with the curveball, and now today 5 strikeouts, 4 with the curveball. He struck out the side in the first inning, working around a couple of walks, and now working around the air. He has struck out 2 more in this inning. And now Joseph takes that curveball in the dirt. Caleb Joseph batting 9th and catching for the Orioles today.
Caleb Joseph is starting to emerge as a possible everyday catcher, although Wieters is kind of easing his way back in from that Tommy John surgery. But Joseph is opening some eyes, not only with his catching ability, and pitchers like throwing to him, it's his bat. He's got a pretty good stroke. 11 homers.
Dyson is back. The ball is carrying today, and now backpedaling onto the warning track. So he atones for his error. And Ventura, with 5 strikeouts, has 2 scoreless innings.
Weapons. That's all you need.
with the kids coming out to Kauffman Stadium. And she would be a nice strongest fan photo. Why don't you tweet yours at #KC-DataStrongFan? You just might see yourself in today's broadcast, brought to you by T-Mobile. Salvador Perez, after the first pitch, pops it up. Flaherty wants it, and he's got it on the grass. One pitch, one away for Tillman.
Dyson tracked this ball perfectly, took a good route to it, and just for some reason couldn't glove it in that big outfielder's glove, and went off the top fingers of it. And in between, Rusty's looking at that going, what the heck? Fix that. Slap that glove around. Shame on that glove for missing.
And probably the most important thing he did there was put a smile on Dyson's face.
Exactly.
Dyson hasn't gotten a lot of playing time lately, and then in his second inning of a rare start, he makes an error, and Rusty knows that one of his jobs as a coach is to eliminate that negative energy and not let ruin Dyson's day.
Lighten the moment. Yeah, and there's been many a player out there, Rhino, coming back into the dugout after missing a ball, looking at their glove, slapping their glove and saying, that's your fault. What the heck are you doing? Let me down like that. Aren't we always looking to pass the blame?
Royals have 2 hitters with a 7-game hitting streak. We told you about Mike Moustakas in the first inning. Alex Rios has hit in 7 straight. He got the night off last night. Rios has 11 hits in his 7-game streak. Deep short. Flaherty plants his feet, throws high, and Rios beats it out.
Flaherty has average range and an average arm, and that showed it right there. We're used to seeing Escobar and you know, some other shortstops really get on top and cannon the guy out, hosing. Now he had time to plant himself. Ball just didn't quite get there in time. It looks like Rios ripped it off, or he's able to beat it out. It's the importance of staying on top of the ball, and sometimes if you don't have the strongest of arms, you got to position yourself in a right spot so where you can get around it and get the throw off quicker.
So it's an infield single and an 8-game hitting streak. And now Paulo Orlando. So the rare game where Rios and Orlando are both in the lineup.
You know, Ryan, two-time world champion David Eckstein, he didn't have the strongest of arms. He could, you know, he had just enough to get it over to first base, but he positioned himself in such a way.
2 down. No, and truth be told, Omar Vizquel, who won 11 Gold Gloves, didn't have the strongest arm either. It seemed like whether it was a fast runner or a slow runner, it always seemed to be bang bang at first base. But it was his hands and his footwork that allowed him to make, it seems like, every single play.
To play those positions, you got to have most of the tools, or you're going to play somewhere else. Escobar says that the best of his tools is his throwing arm.
Strike 2, Omar Infante. Quick throw over by Tillman. He showed you in the first inning he is tough to run on. Scope playing right where Infante hit it. So the force at second base, no score at the end of 2. training. If you are a Royals fan and you're looking forward to attending the Kansas City Irish Fest, get your tickets today for Irish Heritage Night here at Kauffman Stadium. That's this coming Wednesday, starting at just $22. The special ticket package gets you both a game ticket to watch the Royals and Tigers and a single-day admission to the Kansas City Irish Fest the following weekend. Tickets at royals.com/special events. Manny Machado takes a curveball for a strike. Machado walked in the first inning. Ventura walked 2 and struck out 3 in the first inning, and then struck out 2 more in the second, working around an error. And that is pitch number 40. So the fans love to see the strikeouts. I would imagine Ned Yost and Dave Island would like to see some more contact and get Ventura's pitches per inning down. That'll work. 3 pitches, 6 strikeouts, 5 with the curveball, and 1 down in the third inning.
Great execution. It's a field pitch, and obviously, like any other pitch for a guy, certain pitches work, some don't. Machado, you got to go. It's like Ventura. He's got great command with that curveball today.
And yep, somebody yelled balk. So let's see who's going to move up to the next base.
Nobody else. Salvy's saying, follow me, just watch me. Take it easy. Let's harness that energy. Got a man there.
And now the Royals are lined up perfectly. Parra hits it hard, but Orlando was a few steps toward the line. 2 down. So 4 pitches so far to get the first 2 outs. Bill Welke and Salvador Perez are having a little chat. And now we have a pinch hitter. So Adam Jones, who ran face first into the fence in left center field in the first inning and was able to finish that inning and finish the next inning defensively. Maybe the adrenaline after the collision has worn off and something stings more now than it did then. Jones is done for the day.
You know, like you mentioned earlier, lots of times it can be a shoulder, a hand, or anything that crashed into that wall. Hopefully he's all right, good to go. They head on to Texas from here.
So the Orioles bench coach John Russell makes the adjustment on the lineup card in the Orioles dugout. Two and two.
Tough to come off the bench anytime, but when a player gets injured and you've been sitting there cold and now you got to face a guy like Ventura, that makes it really tough.
Three and two on Giannis, known more for his glove than his bat, and mostly an infielder, but he is pinch hitting here for Adam Jones. Still 3 and 2.
You know, September is not quite here yet, and that's when teams can load up their rosters with call-ups. They have plenty of reserves, but right now Showalter having to go to Giannis, see if he can play a little center field. And he's doing a good job here. Look, if he makes it out, he's already expended a ton of pitches here.
An 8-pitch at bat, and Ventura's overall pitch count is at 50. And he gets a base hit to left field, jumping on a high fastball. And that gets Davis to the plate with a man on.
Stepped up, cold off the bench, and on the 9th pitch, got him a knock. I feel good about that. First Orioles hit.
Ventura has struck out 6. And the only strikeout with a fastball today has been against Davis in the first inning. The other 5 with his curveball. You got Davis with a fastball up. Up and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. That makes Chris Davis 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts against Ventura. Sal wants a fastball up again, and it's up and in. 2-1. Now 3 balls, 1 strike.
Well, just like we were talking the last at bat, you know, you're better off taking those pitches if you can't hit it and that's not in your zone area, and that's what he's doing here now. He's saying, all right, I know he's going to throw me some high fastballs, and I'm going to make him throw me a strike.
And that's a walk. Ventura's 3rd. So after a long first inning and a nice recovery in the second inning, Ventura had 2 outs in the 3rd on 4 pitches. But then Giannis had the 9-pitch eventual single, and now Davis with a walk, and this is turning into a long inning for Ventura. He's coming up on 60 in just 3 innings.
And now let's look at these spots here. These aren't missing by much, I'll tell you that. That's for sure. And really, Davis, he earned that walk by his plate discipline. He just figured that, you know, I can't hit that pitch up there. I'm going to take it. '58th walk. That's the most by the Orioles, who, by the way, are a little bit like the Royals. They don't walk.
Royals have the fewest walks in the American League. The Orioles have the 3rd fewest walks. So 2 on, 2 out to Wieters, and that breaking ball is just inside. And Ventura, like some of the fans here today, are wondering why some pitches aren't being called strikes. Wieters struck out looking at a curve in the first inning. Changeup, 1-1. This is back in the first.
Both of Ventura's secondary pitches are above average. Fastball's way above average.
Fooled him badly, but 2 Orioles are going to gain 90 feet on a wild pitch.
Ventura's 7th wild pitch of the season. Gets away from Salvi. Salvi knew it was coming, and he does all he can, just hit off the heel of that glove. He tries to center it in his glove, but doesn't always happen. Wieters with a good chance. He wants to shorten up his swing right here. Shorten it up, put it in play is what he wants. There it is. That was a good stroke right there. Just wants to kind of, it's a big point for the Orioles here to get on the board. Now it could be hammer time coming up. That high fastball, and with Ventura's good curve working, that's a setup pitch. When you're ahead in the count, you can set hitters up.
Got him again with the breaking ball and made him look bad. 7 strikeouts, 6 with that curveball. The pitch count continues to grow, but Ventura has 3 scoreless innings.
Great job with runners in scoring position. Stay hot.
Capacities throughout the Midwest and was instrumental in the creation of the Military Funeral Honors Program for the United States Army Reserve, serving a 6-state region. The program renders last military rites for deceased veterans and retirees of the United States Armed Forces. Over the past 3 years, John has coordinated and rendered honors for over 1,700 deceased service members, sitting in the Buck O'Neil legacy seat at today's game.
Thank you for your service, Jonathan.
Fouled away by Dyson, so he leads off as the number 9 hitter. Dyson, Escobar, and Zobrist. Dyson hitting .261 all year, but in his last 10 games he is hitting .391. Down, no balls, 2 strikes.
He's had a week off in between action, and that's tough for timing, but when you have his skill set with those legs, stay on top of the ball and put it in play. Ooh. I guess that got him. It looked like it might have, but this curveball, see if it got his big toe. Nope.
Up the middle, and that's Giannis. So Giannis does not go into center field, but Buck Showalter had to move around a lot of pieces to compensate for the loss of Adam Jones coming out. Ryan Flaherty, who was at short, is over at first base now. Parra, who was in right, goes to center, and Chris Davis, who was at first base, he goes out to right field. So no offense, but I'd like to hit the ball to right field. Base hit center field. Escobar is on with 1 out. And if Davis plays any right field at Camden Yards, this is a much different right field here. He has a lot more area to cover than he would be in Baltimore.
I'm with you. If you could only aim it all the time, that would be beautiful, but you just can't now. You see his right hand taped up, and what that's telling me is he's got a blister in the palm of his hand. That's the bottom hand when he swings on the knob, and sometimes that knob will continue to rub and fester, and a lot of guys this time of year have a big callus right there. We'll have to check it out next time he comes up. See what kind of bat he's using. Some bats don't have knobs on them. You can flare them out, and others do. Some guys hold their pinky finger off the bottom of the knob. So we'll check him out.
Zobrist hit a ground rule double in the first inning, which led to the removal of Adam Jones. Jones went face first, both hands first, right shoulder first into the screen in left center field. He finished the inning and then came back out for the next inning, and then Giannis hit for him in the third. Tillman throws over to first base, and Escobar was standing on the bag. That surprised Flaherty every bit as much as it did surprise Escobar.
Escobar got to see his move firsthand. Didn't even have to get a lead.
Out to Scope. Escobar jumps over the ground ball, so he moves into scoring position as Scope throws out Zobrist, 2 down. Davis, by the way, in right field. Dave Holtzman looked it up for us. He's made 27 starts this year in right field. I don't ever remember him playing right field against the Royals, but as we talked about last night, with the departure of Nick Markakis, who was their longtime right fielder, and Nelson Cruz, who was playing a lot of left field, the Orioles have really had to scramble this year to find a regular in either right field or left field this year.
Right man, right spot. 44 2-out RBIs. That leads the majors for Morales.
That everybody is all right. We saw a story where the Philadelphia Phillies, after an incident in their ballpark, are going to extend the netting down the lines. No swing. An emphatic call by Joe West.
Maybe he's not a morning person.
Well, it's 3:44.
Well, I guess it is a little bit later.
Well, it's morning somewhere. Two and two.
Okay, again, like Ventura, when you get ahead, he's setting hitters up. He does that high fastball, means usually a breaking ball's coming behind it. Get that hitter's eyesight up there in the zone, and then you drop the hammer. We'll see what he decides to throw here.
Full count. Moustakas will be next. Morales is 5th in the American League in situations like this one. And as Hud pointed out, the best in the major leagues with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. Out to Scope, and this time Tillman gets Morales. 1 hit, 1 left, no score at the end of 3. For only $30, you get a seat in left field, plus a limited edition Charlie Hustle-brand T-shirt. And as an added bonus, the first 100 Gordo Nation fans get an Alex Gordon big head. Visit Royals.com/special events for more information. And our next Gordo Nation is a week from today. And the Royals maintain that as well as Alex has played and as good as he looks so far at AAA Omaha, that he will not return until September. But a week from today, we will be in September. So who knows?
There's a big head. Of course, Alex does not have one, but the fans do. And you know, I love the caricature of the new T-shirt of that. Of Alex's shirt. He's got him blowing a bubble. He's got a glove on top of his head. I want one of those.
There it is. So Gordo Nation in full effect today, even with Alex with the Omaha Storm Chasers. One down to Jonathan Schoop. He reached on an error by Dyson in center field in the second inning, which did not turn into a run. In fact, Schoop went to second on the play, never advanced to third. It's been a very good day for Ventura's curveball. Actually, the last two games he's had a really good curveball. And it's 0-2 on Schoop.
The only thing is the pitch count. They've been making him work. Got another strikeout.
So that is 8 for Ventura and 7 with that pitch.
Stays on top of it well, and you know, it's a shorter break. We talked about it, but it's very tricky. You're almost better off if you can recognize it to not even swing at it. Seen a lot of check swings.
Flaherty fouls it away. No ground ball outs yet for Ventura, so he has only required the work of Salvador Perez and his outfield. Flaherty struck out on that curveball in the second inning, and now a changeup, and he, with a check swing, sends it into the crowd.
And that first inning, Ventura didn't need any defenders at all. They may as well just sat in the dugout.
One and 2 on Flaherty. This will be pitch number 70 for Ventura. Salvador Perez wants him to shake off a couple of signs. Then he goes with the breaking ball. 9 strikeouts. 8 strikeouts with a curveball. So that pitch is on today, to say the least.
Ooh, man, but so is this guy. Can't wait to see him at the plate.
online with rapid pickup at delivery.panerabread.com. By Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Chrysler, enjoy your summer in style with great deals at the Chrysler Summer Clearance Event. Don't give my kids any ideas.
Yeah, look, I'm glad mine are in school too. If they saw that, they would be bugging me. Aren't many day games left though this season here home.
2-0 on Moustakas. We remind you to vote for the Royals Player of the Month at rallyhouse.com, and you'll be entered to win a majestic prize pack from Rally House. Left center field. The ball's carrying out that way. It is off the wall. And Mike Moustakas gets another hit to the opposite field. He has a leadoff double in the 4th inning.
Moustakas, obviously the adjustments he's made have been great, not just for himself but for the team. He's waiting longer, he's thinking less, and he's using more hands. Standing straight up, he's able to deposit that ball off the left center field wall, a lot like the first hit of the year Moose got. It was an opposite field homer. The first time in his career Moose went opposite field, and when he got that first hit of the year at homer, I knew Moose was going to be special this year. Sometimes that magic happens. Let's take a look at it. Let's look back. There it was, similar. Sam Abramson, thank you so much for going back and finding that shot. Moose's first career opposite field shot, especially here at the K. You really got to hit it.
Chop just foul. 1-1 on Salvador Perez. He has an 8-game hitting streak, Mike Moustakas does, but in his last 7 games, hitting .458 with 8 extra base hits and 4 home runs. Getting his average back up to .280. Broken bat, Moustakas read it perfectly. Salvador Perez drives in his 55th. And the Royals lead 1-0 in the 4th inning.
Moustakas scoring his 58th run, getting on base with that opposite field double. And that was his 25th double. And it was timely. Jam shot, it'll work. Especially you lob it out there in between those fielders like that, man, you can't throw it any better. Moose, like you said, Rhino, great read. Watch this. He knew he didn't have to hesitate. That's by looking around, finding the outfielders, seeing where they're playing so you can react like that on contact. The Royals, they do everything well. Running the bases has helped them win, I'm going to say 10 or 15 games this year just by their heads up base running.
Alex Rios also has an 8-game hitting streak like Moustakas. He extended that with an infield single in the 2nd inning. Two and one. Changeup, and Rios was on it. That is all the way to the fence. Perez will be held at third. Rios has a double, and the Royals open the fourth inning with 3 straight hits.
Nice.
And that smile for Rios has something to do, I'm sure, with hearing an ovation he hasn't heard here in a while.
Yeah, well, look, it's nice to see him smile, especially when you hit a ball cleanly like that. Changeup. He was successful with this pitch last inning on Morales, a 3-2 count, and he executed it well, but that one just kind of floated out over the middle, right in the meat of his bat. Yeah, nobody out. Runners at second and third.
So second and third and nobody out to Paulo Orlando, who lined out softly to the shortstop first time up. And he takes strike one. Let's go to Joel.
And in this situation, Ryan, it would be hard to imagine Paulo Orlando bunting and squeezing in Salvador Perez. But he's been working a lot with Rusty Kuntz on his bunting, 15-20 minutes at a time, a couple of games a series. The reason for it is this: they work on it in AAA, but he's more of a middle of the lineup type of hitter. Different role when he gets back up to the big leagues. They've laid the foundation there for him in the minor leagues, but he gets up here to the big leagues, oftentimes lower in the lineup, a different role, and they want to make sure that he's up to speed, up to game speed with that. Been putting in a lot of work.
And Joel, when you're not an everyday player, your work ethic has to be at a top level. You got to work every day to stay sharp, so when you get in there, you can produce.
Well, it's the dilemma of every organization. You have a young player who profiles to be a 3, 4, 5 hitter in the big leagues, so you treat him as such in the minor leagues. But when they first get called up, they're probably a 6, 7, or 8 hitter, and might be asked to bunt or hit and run or do some things that they didn't do a lot of in the minor leagues, but that's what's needed at this level. 2-2.
Now he pulled off of that one. He wants to stay in the middle part of the field if he can. Now with 2 strikes, you're going to do anything you can to make some contact, but really with the infield drawn in, not all the way, but they're in a little bit closer, you want to try to stay short with your swing here and just make some contact with 2 strikes.
Davis waits for it, makes the catch, flat-footed, so no chance, even with Perez running, and Rios goes to third. 2-0 Royals, and a runner at third base with 1 out.
Excellent job there. You were looking for that way. We're just talking about that. You got to get those runners in any way you can. Get them in and over. Rios, heads up job of tagging Davis. Got off a decent throw, but there was no chance to get it out anywhere.
Now the Orioles will bring the infield in a little closer as Rios runs better than Perez, and Infante will try and get him home.
Same situation here. Think middle of the field if you can. Short swing, short and compact.
Taking a changeup for a strike, almost as if he knew that he wasn't going to get a fastball in the first pitch. A more hittable pitch. And now it's 0-2. How has Infante done with a runner at third base and less than 2 outs? A little better than the league average. Tillman could use a strikeout. He has only 1 today. And Infante making contact.
It's going to fall.
Up the line. Foul.
Oh, well, I knew it was going to fall, but I thought that had a base hit written all over it. Gravity plays a huge part of this game, doesn't it, Rhino?
Especially with the help of the moon.
Well, you know what? We're close to a full moon now.
Going to try and get him with a changeup. But it stayed up. High and deep to left field. Sometimes the ball will straighten out in the corner, but not this time.
Rhino, how are we going to be able to see the moon in the next 3 days indoors at the Tropicana Arena baseball field?
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm not sleeping at the stadium. So when the game's over, I might go outside and then I can see the sky.
You mean the moon glistening over the Tampa Bay there in St. Pete?
Or something like that.
It's going to be beautiful, but the pace of this game, I don't know if we'll ever get there. Infante battling. He's looking for anything out over that plate, put in play and keep this rally going. And they're doing it with less than 2 outs.
Ground ball to third and right to Machado. So Infante does not get Rios in, and now the Royals need a hit with 2 outs.
This team is so good with Alex Gordon. But with Alex Gordon not in the lineup because of his injury, the team has stepped up. I mean to tell you, that's what you do when you lose a superstar. Gerard Dyson stepping into the batter's box. He was the first to play out there in left field, and man, did he respond. Let's check it out. This was special. That ball was driven well, and he just loads up and gets a double play. How about that? That brought the crowd out of their seat and gave Dyson some energy to continue his pursuit of replacing a great. That's what you look for.
Has it been 45 games already? Wow. There are times when the baseball season seems like forever, and then there are times you blink your eyes and 45 games go by. But gosh, could you imagine the Royals dreaming of being 13 games above 500 without Alex Gordon? That's what's happened. Curveball's a little bit outside. Dyson trying to get Rios in from third. Tillman allowed a double to Moustakas, a single to Perez that scored Moustakas, a double to Rios, and a sac fly to Orlando. So the Royals have scored their 2 runs in this inning. And now it's 2-1 on Dyson. Started in, and again the ball is carrying out to left center field, so he adjusts and makes a play. Mike Moustakas stretches his hitting streak to 8 games of the leadoff double. Salvador Perez drives Moustakas home, and then Sal scores on a sac fly. Yordano Ventura's career high for strikeouts is 10. He did that over 6 innings at San Diego last year. Today he has 9 in just 4 innings. That's the good news. I wouldn't call it bad news, but the other side of that, with all the strikeouts, his pitch count is at 70 through 4 innings. And his curveball today has been wicked. 8 of the 9 strikeouts have been with that pitch. So over his last 2 starts, Ventura has struck out 15, 13 of those with his curveball. And now fastball is high to Caleb Joseph. Diving play, Moustakas to his feet in time. And the Southern California kid who surfs as a hobby, those surfing skills came in very handy right there.
Without a doubt. Now this would have been tough with Escobar, the backhand. The ball wouldn't hit all that hard, but Moose, takes everything he can get. Gets to his feet and lines them up directly where he wants to throw. Excellent. You got to get to your feet quickly. Look at the footwork. Very nice job of getting to your feet. Moose staying hot on both sides of the ball.
Just imagine a surfboard under his belly when he starts to get up.
That's right. And he's trying to catch that wave, but he caught that out for sure. Caleb Joseph, he's been frustrated here in this series.
Manny Machado has walked and struck out against Ventura. One ball and 1 strike. The Orioles have 1 hit so far. Ventura has walked 3, and the Royals have committed an error. And now more routine play for Escobar. 2 outs in the 5th inning. Time for a Mazda. Hold on. Game break. Let's go to Arlington, Texas. Delino DeShields Jr. hits it through the right side. And after the ball gets by Bautista, a run scores, and now Texas in the 8th inning lead 8-1, and DeShields circles the bases. So a base hit and an error, and it is 4-1 Texas in the top of the 8th inning. The Royals by no means have buried Minnesota. They have a comfortable lead at 12 games in the Central Division, but right now their focus is on the best record in the league, and they have a 6-game advantage over the Blue Jays in that category. So the 2 teams the Royals are keeping an eye on more than any other would be Minnesota in the division and Toronto for best record in the league. And Minnesota with a 6-game winning streak. They're at Tampa Bay tonight. They have moved back in for a wild card spot.
It is disheartening for a team to win 6 straight games. The Twins are hot and only pick up 2 in the standings on the first place team. So obviously their eyes are set elsewhere. You still got to keep pushing for the team at the top. Morales, no problem.
Three up, 3 down, all ground ball outs for Yordano Ventura. As we celebrate Mike Sweeney and his iconic career with a limited edition Royals Hall of Fame bobblehead sponsored by Commerce Bank. The first 10,000 fans through the gates will receive this piece of history featuring the 26th inductee into the Royals Hall of Fame. It's a day game, so get here early. The gates are scheduled to open at 11:30, and that'll be the Royals and the Chicago White Sox. The Royals have a nice long homestand after the quick trip to St. Petersburg. The Tigers are here for 3. The White Sox are here for 3. And the Twins are here for 3. Davis is back in right field. He'll take care of Escobar. Esky is 1 for 3. It's hard to believe. After the Royals come back from St. Petersburg, we will be down to 2 homestands and 2 road trips. And then that's it for the regular season. There's our good buddy, Bob Davis, longtime Royals broadcaster, visiting with Art Stewart upstairs. And an even longer time voice of the KU Jayhawks. Spending a day at the ballpark, sharing a story or two, a joke or two.
Well, you know, my feelings are hurt a little because he hasn't made an appearance up here. You know, I didn't know he was in the house. I was hoping he would come by and say hi. Come on, Bob. I need to hear the latest new jokes and good ones.
BD was here with the Royals from 1997 through 2011 on both Fox, RSTN, and the Royals Radio Network. Base hit right field for Ben Zobrist. He has a 2-hit game. And boy, does Kauffman Stadium feel like home for him. He just continues to pile up the hits at home. He is hitting over .430 as a Royal at Kauffman Stadium.
And you know, he's a hitter that's comfortable wearing sunglasses. And there's no looking across the bridge of your nose with his stance. He turns around with that chin and tucks that chin on that shoulder, and he has both eyeballs on the pitcher. And then the sunglasses really cut the glare down. So hitters that are comfortable hitting with him, it helps.
Morales is grounded out twice, once to the pitcher, once to the second baseman Scope. (2-0).
Okay, here's the chin tuck. Now see, look, he's looking right at that pitcher with both eyes. He says that maybe it looks a little pronounced, but look, I'm just trying to get both eyeballs on him. He does it from the right side as well.
Dave Holtzman looked it up, and remember the old Michael Jordan commercial, "It's got to be the shoes"?
Yep.
Well, if you're wondering if it's got to be the uniform for Zobrist hitting so well here at Kauffman Stadium, that is not true. Because as a member of the Rays and as a member of the A's, he hit .321 here at Kauffman Stadium. So he's always hit well here. And now with what he's done with the Royals, he hits .360 at Kauffman Stadium. And now our next assignment for Dave Holtzman. Where does that rank among all major leaguers with that many at bats? .360, and he's played a lot of games here.
He's been good, but Dave Holtzman, sometimes he's even better. He can pull those numbers up in a heartbeat for us and help us out. We sure do appreciate him. Slight breeze blowing here today. It was blowing all over the place earlier. There's Holtzy.
There you go, Holtzy. How much did you pay HUD to say that? He's writing the answer right now. He's already.
Yeah, Holtzy.
All right, here. Let's just show him. Just show it. Can we go back to that camera?
He writes
We ask him to look something up, and he has a whiteboard. Okay, so there's the answer. Ben Zobrist has 120 or more at bats here, right? So with that many at bats, 360 is the 5th highest all time. Not just current players, right, Holtzy? All time here at Kauffman Stadium. That away, Holtzy.
He does actually talk too.
Yeah. Oh boy, does he.
Morales now, this situation last time, Tillman got him out with a changeup. See if he comes back in there with that same pitch.
Zobrist was running.
He threw a heater that time. It was a good pitch by Tillman. He was able to get him to ground out. Yeah, I've talked about that wind. It's got a nice little breeze going to left center, left field. That wind can't contain Morales, though, if he pulls it. Gets a hold of one, it's usually long gone.
Running again, and that's ball 4. So runners at first and second with 1 out. And the Royals' hottest hitter at the moment coming up, Mike Moustakas. DraftKings predicting the impact players of the day, the players to watch, and they were right with Mike Moustakas and Yordano Ventura so far. Go to DraftKings.com, enter the promo code BRoyal to play daily fantasy baseball for free.
You know, Moose wouldn't tell me this, but I could tell when they moved him down to the 6th hole, you know, it kind of was a punch in the gut, although it wasn't meant to punch him in the gut or take his wind out. But for him, he's like, oh man, I was having so much fun in that 2 hole, and it took him several weeks to kind of get the feel of that and get himself back together again offensively as he was hitting in the 2 hole. Nice.
Base hit right field. Zobrist will be waved home on Davis. He will score. Morales goes to 3rd. Another multi-hit game for Mike Moustakas, and the Royals lead 3-0.
You better believe he's loose, and it's great to see the crowd behind Moustakas with all the signs. And you know what? Like I said, the park ranger, he's sick of me calling for him. He said, let the Moose run. He is doing the job. I'm telling you. And that changeup there was not where he wanted it. It left a little bit over the plate, and you cannot get a hot hitter out with anything out over the plate. Hitting like he was earlier in the season, finding the holes, getting the job done.
And for Moustakas, that is 35 multi-hit games this year. He didn't have half of those last year. He only had 17. And we still have over a month to go.
You know, you just got to credit his work ethic, the fact that he's worked so hard working on that opposite field swing. He knows it's all there. But eliminating the mechanical thinking part of the game has really helped you.
Salvador Perez has driven in one of the 3 runs, and he has a chance to drive in another one with Morales at 3rd. They go to work now in the Orioles bullpen. The slider is high and away, ball 1. Jorge Rondon, who was just called up before this series began on Monday and has appeared in a couple of games, is the first man up. Salvi taking all the way. 1 ball, 1 strike. Salvi broke his bat in the 4th inning, but got the ball out into shallow left field. Moustakas was at second. He read it immediately and scored the Royals' first run. Up the middle, diving play, out at second, and the Orioles save a run with a dazzling double play. Giannis, who is only in the game because Adam Jones was injured, starts an inning-ending double play, and the Royals get one in the 5th inning.
But not before Moustakas staying hot. Driving in Zobrist for the 3rd run.
Single in the 5th inning. After the game, the Royals head to the beaches of St. Petersburg, Florida, for a 3-game series with the Rays tomorrow night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon, and then come right back home for a 9-game homestand. All 3 games are on Fox Sports Kansas City. Yordan Ventura has pitched well today. He's allowed 1 hit in 5 innings. He'll give way to Edinson Volquez tomorrow, Chris Medlin Saturday, Danny Duffy Sunday for that Royals-Rays series. Ventura's next pitch will be number 80, so he's really cleaned up his pitch count over the past 2 innings. How many times do you see it happen? Guy makes a great play for the final out of 1 inning and leads off the next one.
Every day.
Dave Holtzman tells me the chances are 1 out of 8 in the American League and 1 out of 9 in the National League. And Giannis, who singled in the 3rd inning against Ventura, has a leadoff single in the 6th. That's because the DH cannot make a good defensive play in the prior inning.
Well, that's almost every day.
If you're on the road and want to keep close to the Royals, well, subscribe to MLB.TV Premium for live or on demand on over 400 devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and more. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Chris Davis continues to have trouble with Yordan Ventura's fastball. Yordan struck him out in the 1st inning with that pitch, and then Davis walked in the 3rd. A little bit inside. Ventura now at 84 pitches and still throwing 99 miles an hour. That's right where he wants to pitch him. 1-2. Right?
Absolutely. That's where they want to pitch it. But you know, he took the last time he was up, he took those pitches. He wasn't even swinging at him, and Ventura walked him. And until until Davis could hit that pitch, Ventura's going to stay there until he shows Ventura he can handle that pitch. See Salvi's target right about the belt.
You know, Davis is interesting because this isn't a hard rule, but generally speaking, a hitter that holds his hands high is usually a good high ball hitter, and vice versa. A hitter that holds his hands low usually has difficulty hitting the ball that's up. But Davis, even though he starts high, he really drops his hands down as the pitch comes in.
Right, and most hitters do. They all have their own different way they start, but when it comes to contact, every hitter has the same hand position. You have to in order to be successful consistently. Okay, now we can see, remember that wrap he's got in right field, but it's not going to help him here on that bottom hand.
That ties Ventura's career high, 10 strikeouts and 9 today with his curveball.
Third looking. That's a beauty. And you know he's got to go.
Matt Wieters knows all about that curveball. Ventura has struck him out twice, once looking and once swinging at that pitch. Ventura now coming up on 90 pitches. Wieters is just not seeing that pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Luke Hochevar, Franklin Morales just beginning their warm-up routines. Hochevar almost threw that ball right in your living room. Two and one on Wieters.
Looks like Salvi's just sitting in a rocking chair back there, just rocking back and forth. Just trying to command those pitches and that energy.
He is just not picking up that pitch at all.
Now Wieters, we talked about the glasses earlier. He's got some on, but he also has some eye black on. So it's a glary day, even though it's a little bit overcast. See, he's going all he can to take that glare away.
Two long innings.
And not that Ventura has bad breath. He's holding that glove there to not let anybody see what he's saying. No lip reading. See a lot more of that in the modern day now, because there's so many camera angles and so many shots that hitters, they can see that. Not just on TV, but
and he got him thinking about the breaking ball and strikes him out with a fastball, and that's a new career high. 11 strikeouts for Yordano Ventura.
Woo, he's pitching like an ace today. That's 11 strikeouts, most since James Shields had 12 on April in 2014. That's impressive. Look at that heater. And Salvi going to the mound, that messed up Wieters. He didn't know what to look for, and they snuck a piece of cheese right by.
Boy, that's when you know that a pitcher is in a hitter's head. I mean, all day Matt Wieters has been waiting for that pitch. And when it comes, he doesn't pull the trigger.
I agree with you, ma'am. He is the ace Ventura for sure. And the second good start in a row after Cueto's not so good starts.
Pierce has struck out and flied to right. Close. 2-0. And now 3 balls, no strikes. We'll see, but at 95 pitches, and with Hochevar and Morales getting hot in describing their intensity of perhaps coming into this game, this is most likely Ventura's last inning. 3-1. Ned Yost does not like to get a reliever hot and not bring him into the game.
Yeah, set him down for another half inning. That's a long wait. You know, Holland, that happened to him in Cincinnati when they had the rain delay and then they had the up and down game. It messed him up a little bit. He had to get up 2 or 3 different times.
And now they begin to squirm a little bit in the Royals dugout. A home run here would tie the game. If Scope gets on, then a home run would put the Orioles in front, and Ned never wants to put his starter, who has pitched well and this late into the game, give them the possibility of losing the game. So now at 97 pitches, it's pretty much guaranteed that he is facing his last hitter. Giannis singled, then Ventura struck out Davis and Wieters, and now Pierce has walked. Up the middle, Infante will take it to the bag, and Yordano Ventura, with a career-high 11 strikeouts, gives up only 2 hits over 6 scoreless innings. Of the state line, and we're glad they're here. We hope the kids will be here for Labor Day holiday as we honor the military with the Royals Armed Forces Night presented by Budweiser on Monday, September 7th. We hope you'll arrive early for a pregame ceremony honoring our servicemen and women prior to the game against Minnesota. Royals.com, 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets.
Now that young man with that sign that he's missing school, I hope his teacher doesn't see that.
Machado throws out Rios, who has a 2-hit game. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Tillman. Now Paulo Orlando in our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Nicky Smith from Ottawa. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Nicky wins $300. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Nicky wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Royals. Paulo Orlando lined out softly to the shortstop in the 2nd inning and then hit a sac fly for his 19th RBI in the 4th. Paulo Orlando hits it to Orlando. And the Royals lately have been owning the Sonic Slam inning. $300 on its way to Ottawa for Nicky Smith. Congratulations. The Royals lead 4-0 in the 6th inning. Had a Sonic Slam in 5 of the last 7 games.
Man, pass out a set of earplugs because that was loud off the bat of Paulo Orlando. That ball, he took it for a drink in the fountain. Nice. Paulo Orlando playing every game like it's his last. It's exciting to watch him on both sides of that ball.
Infante is 0 for 2. Three balls, no strike. Tillman lost a little footing with that delivery. Three and one. And they're back to work in the Baltimore bullpen. Tillman has thrown 94 pitches. The Royals have scored in 3 straight innings. 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 1 here in the 6th. Out to Machado. 2 down. Let's listen to how loud the Orlando home run was, our Dodge drive of the game. I think he had a pretty good idea that that ball was gone.
Sure was nice. You know, the hitter knows before the pitcher. That's a great feel, Ryan, and you barely feel it.
Dyson has grounded to short and flied to center. Oh, and 2. It's Rondon warming up again. 2-2 on Dyson. Lorenzo Cain and Eric Hosmer got the day off. And now it's Herrera getting ready for the 7th inning. Hochevar and Morales were warming up behind Ventura in the 6th. Line to left, but the Orioles were playing shallow. And that's the inning. Paulo Orlando with his 5th home run of the year. So Yordano Ventura gets 4 runs of support as he hands the ball off to the bullpen. internet, the Uverse revolves around you. Call 1-800-PICK-ATT. By your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit your MidwestFordDealers.com. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price every day. Quiet out of the carousel in the Royals outfield experience. Everybody's watching the Royals on their way to taking 3 out of 4 from the Orioles before hitting the road for 3. Kelvin Herrera comes on in the 7th inning to get Flaherty, Joseph, and Machado.
Well, he's got a great fastball, just like Ventura, but he was excellent on Monday night, the opening game of this series. Let's check it out. He was vicious with that fastball, throwing some cheese, some cheddar cheese right by these hitters. That super slow-mo shows you what that little slider will do, as he's been bringing in more of that. Now there's the changeup. That's a beautiful pitch to keep those guys honest and off of that heater. That heater's around 98 to 100. It's plenty hard, but you know, you got to have a couple different pitches to give them some looks, because this is the big leagues. Best in the world play here. They'll get that 100 if you just throw it straight down the middle.
Here's the changeup. Flaherty struck out twice against Ventura. Ventura struck out a new career high today, 11. His previous career high was 10 last season at San Diego. 2-1. Another changeup. Sal tried to pull it into the strike zone. Herrera wonders why it wasn't called a strike, and it's 3-1.
Pretty good spot, though, if you're going to miss down there with that pitch.
Fastball is hit high and deep to right field and gone. Ryan Flaherty, who was in a terrible slump, a deep slump when this series began, hits a home run for the second time in the last 2 games, and Baltimore is on the board for the first time.
In Herrera's career, that's just the second earned run that the Orioles have ever gotten off of him in 13 2/3 innings. And we just got through talking about it. You leave the fastball out over the middle of the plate, it can get hit hard here.
And now 99 for a strike to Caleb Joseph. He's had some tough luck today. He has flied to the warning track in center field and grounded to third, where Moustakas made a diving play and threw him out. Here's the slider at 91 miles an hour. I asked Dave Island about that pitch because Herrera's always had a curveball, but he would throw that curveball maybe once every 2 or 3 appearances. I mean, he would never hardly throw that pitch, but now with the slider, he's throwing it quite a bit. And Dave was saying that it's been about a 6-week process to teach Herrera that pitch and to get him to a point where he's comfortable enough to throw it in the game. And now that ball's hit very well to left center field, but that'll stay in the ballpark, and Orlando will make the play for the first out. Dave was saying that Herrera's fastball and his changeup basically arrive on the same plane, and they have the same action. They both will tail into a righty, tail away from the lefty. So they needed to come up with a pitch that would tail away from a righty and into a lefty. And Herrera admitted that he never really felt great about his curveball and realized he needed a third pitch. So after 4 weeks of just working on it, and then a couple of weeks of mixing it in here and there in the game, now he's at a point where he's a legitimate 3-pitch pitcher.
And that east and west movement is really important. hitters out.
Moustakas cuts it off, throws low, and Kendrys Morales with his best Eric Hosmer impersonation saves an error and gets the second out.
That's right. Hands up and hats off. Yeah, that'll bring a whoo from Haas. That was nice. And we've seen Morales in his starts over there at first base do this in his sleep. He hasn't missed one of them. That's not an easy pick either. That's the hardest pick for a first baseman. It lands almost on the grass because you never know where it's going to go. Soft hands. Starts low, finishes high. Just like the Gold Glover Hosmer. Look at Moose saying thank you for saving that error.
Did you see Rusty's reaction to the dugout? Oh, that just never gets old. The first shot we had from left field at Morales with the dugout behind him.
Well, the way these guys play defense, it wows a lot of people. But
Herrera, after giving up the home run, gets Joseph, Machado, and Parra. So the Orioles are on the board. The Royals still have a 3-run lead. Stretch time at Kauffman Stadium.
pick and grin. Believe it.
Around the league, LA shutting out Detroit. Texas finally beats Toronto. LA 1-0 over Cincinnati. Zach Greinke dealing there. Minnesota and Tampa tonight. Our Mazda game break to Detroit. Justin Verlander gave up one hit yesterday. Today the Tigers only had 2 hits on the game. Matt Shoemaker allowed just one of them, and Albert Pujols doing the damage for the Angels. 2-0 is the final. Coming up on Boulevard Royals Live, we'll be talking plenty about Yordano Ventura and all of his strikeouts. 4th straight quality start for Yordano. Reaction from Ned Yostin will get you ready for the Royals and the Rays. And guys, as Jorge Rondon comes into the game, wanted to pass on one story. Darryl Dawkins, the former NBA legend known for his dunking, passed away today. I bring that up, aka Chocolate Thunder, because the first time he ever broke a backboard, and that's what he was known for, shattered a backboard, was 1979 Philadelphia against the Kansas City Kings at Municipal Auditorium. Games were not at Kemper at that point because of a bad storm that had ruined the roof, and so Darryl Dawkins became famous at Municipal Auditorium.
Sorry to hear that. When I was a kid in Los Angeles, I was a huge Laker fan, and that was a good time to be a Laker fan, and therefore I was a basketball fan, and when Darryl Dawkins broke that backboard, I mean, that was one of the coolest things I'd ever seen in my short life.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I did not realize that that was here in Kansas City.
Yeah, sorry to hear about his passing.
Is Joel still with us? How old was he, Joel?
Just 58, and that surprised me. I mean, I guess in my mind, I would have, thought he was still too young, 63, 64, 65, and then, we were looking over some of the details. Kurt Nelson of the Royals Hall of Fame, who always gets amazing information anyway, and we were looking, and it said, Municipal Auditorium, and we said, well, shouldn't it have been at Kemper? But there had been a bad storm, I think that summer, in June, I think, and the roof was destroyed, and so they were playing a lot of their games, at least the first part of that year, at Kemper. And then we all remember, those of us that were around at least, right, Ryan and Hud, that was what he was known for. Tearing down those backboards. They outlawed that pretty quickly after.
And they had to change the rims. They had to develop the breakaway rims that would give. There was a spring that was in the base of the rim, so guys could dunk and the rim would bend and the glass wouldn't break.
I remember him going from high school to the pros,
which was a lot more rare then. Ben Zobrist, 2 hits and a run scored. And we told you when he singled in the 5th inning that he hits .360 at Kauffman Stadium, no matter what uniform he's wearing. And that is 5th all time.
Okay, so to appease the huge audience out there in television land, we'll show you the 4 other guys that are better than Zobrist here at the K in the career, in the history of this ballpark.
That ball was hit hard. Giannis with Flaherty losing his balance over at first. The Orioles get the out. The interesting thing here, and this is 120 at bats where Zobrist is. The interesting thing here is that those are all current players.
Yeah, that is. That's quite amazing. I mean, Carlos Santana, and last season he probably did all that damage in one series here.
And one of the reasons for that is before 2013 the Royals really didn't pitch much, so there were some big numbers accumulating against Royals pitching here or anywhere.
That's a good point.
After decades of good Royals pitching and in a ballpark that is a good ballpark to pitch in. Morales drives that ball over Davis and up against the wall. And another double for Kendrys Morales.
.35th on the year. Haas, a rare pinch running opportunity here, and he'll greet Morales with a smile. Nice job. Deserves an ovation from the people.
Only Michael Brantley with 38 has more doubles in the American League than Kendrys Morales.
Oh man, that ball's right down the middle. Davis might have to check his face for tracer burns. That ball was hit and scalded. Get in there.
Another base hit for Mike Moustakas and another RBI for Mike Moustakas. He has a base hit to left field, to right field, and to center field today. And the Royals get yet another run with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. And as we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Oh my, when you're in a tree, sometimes you look down on everybody, and Moustakas is in that tree. He's had some excellent opposite field hits. He's been going the other way. He's pulling it, and the main thing, he's finding holes and he's driving them in. Defensively, he's no slouch. Look at that action. Tremendous arm, Ventura and company. When you make a defensive play like that, that pumps that pitcher up. And here's this last knock right here. Another fastball. Rondon finding way too much of that middle of that plate.
.97 miles an hour. 0-2 on Salvador Perez.
That is in fuego.
Just foul. A little nifty footwork there by first base umpire John Hirschbeck. Rusty Kuntz evaluating his footwork. Hirschbeck says thank you very much.
Look at Hirschbeck just minding his own business. And he says, all right, I'll move. Fine umpire and an even better gentleman.
Machado will play it to second base, and that's the inning. The Royals have now scored in 4 consecutive innings, and like they do often in the later innings, the opponent scores and they answer in the next half inning. Ran for Kendrys Morales and scored a run. Let's take a look at our sprint cuts of the game against Yordano Ventura. There were cuts, not very good cuts, and over 6 innings Ventura gave up just 2 hits and struck out 11, a brand new career high for him, and of those 11, 9 on his curveball. Well, we're accustomed to in day games, especially on Sundays, our segment with Denny Matthews. How about Thursdays with BD? Bob Davis.
Wow.
How are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm good. I'm so envious of you. You'll be eating grouper sandwiches all weekend.
That was that your favorite? I know that was your old television partner's favorite stop on the circuit, Paul Splittorff.
Yeah, grouper for lunch, grouper for breakfast.
That's
right. Great.
On our way to St. Petersburg and the hotel there, a nice veranda out in front.
Oh.
Go read your newspaper on the veranda and have a grouper sandwich for lunch.
It doesn't get any better. Win this one and go. Yeah.
Great to see you.
Thank you. It's good to be seen.
You know, you just showed up at the ballpark today.
Yeah.
You didn't tell anybody.
Inauspicious. Yeah.
But we know you're watching and hanging on every pitch.
Every word.
We learned a little bit about your academic career at Washburn.
Yes, and that's been noted around Mid-America.
You've been getting some text messages?
You have to be cautious. People are actually listening, you know.
Oh, boy. Well, I mean this sincerely. You preceded me, at least as a Royals broadcaster, by a couple of years.
And in life, too.
By a few more years than that.
Yeah.
But you brought it up. But I know you're enjoying this as a fan back in Lawrence, and I really wish you had the opportunity to experience this every day on a broadcast, in the broadcast booth.
Well, yeah, I had my tenure 4 100-loss seasons and a 19-game losing streak, so this is a lot more fun when you think about it. But that was great too, just being part of it.
Strike 3 called. Wade Davis. That is the Royals' 12th strikeout today, and 1 down in the 8th inning.
This could be an HDH day, maybe. Huh?
There have been many of those lately.
Could be. Ned was telling us before the game that all of his relievers seem to be ready to go, so we might see that, Bob.
All right.
Glad you came up here because my feelings were getting hurt. You know, you didn't stop by and say hello to us, but I'm glad you came in.
You're so sensitive.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Ooh, there's my guy.
Can you believe it's been 4 years?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that the other day.
There are times where I just still expect him to walk through the door.
May of 2011.
Yeah. In fact, we were in Baltimore.
Yes, sir.
Playing the Orioles right now. We were in Baltimore, and we knew he was very ill, and of course it was still a shock when the time come. But I will never forget where I was when I received the news. This is Chris Davis with 1 out. Well, what are your summers like now that you're not jumping on an airplane with us and traveling around the country this time of year?
Well, I run around the state a little bit, but I'm with you guys most of the time, one way or the other. You know, those ratings are up. I'm part of that.
There you go, BD. What part of the Royals game do you like the most? They're so well rounded. I mean, do you like the pen? Is it the defense? Is it the starting pitching? Or is it the offense that Frenzy hits nightly?
Bullpen's not bad either. I like that.
I'm telling you.
How about that play Morales made at first base a while ago? Did you see Hosmer in the dugout? He was loving that. Big salute. But you got to like the bullpen. I mean, they are sensational.
2-2 on Davis.
Oh, Salvi caught that one off the chin.
Ooh.
And that's the vulnerable spot for Salvador Perez. When he takes one on the lower part of the mask that jars his jaw, that's what led to the concussions. Let's get another look. Let's bring in Joel.
Guys, remember he got hit the other night on the road trip and was talking with Nick Kenny, going through the same type of deal that we're seeing now, and okay, they've ruled that he is okay and he's smiling. There's so much more to this than just trying to check him out and make sure that he's following the eyes right and that he's coherent and all of that. Nick Kenny will now go into a whole nother routine of observing every single one of Salvador Perez's moves. When he gets down to take off his shin guards, is he off balance at all? If he's running at all, is he staggering? Because those symptoms could still come on. He has such a quick amount of time to evaluate him, and now the rest of the evaluation comes afterwards. He will not take his eye off of him.
Well, you know, Joel, too, they teach catchers at an early age when they first start catching to never turn your head, because when you turn your head, you're going to get exposed. Now, that was an unusual. Salvi knows that, but it was a foul tip, and he was going to try to block the ball, and he just turned his head, and it caught him. Nick Kenny keeping a close eye on him.
BD, we're on our way to Tampa Bay. We've already established that, and your last full season with the Royals, I'm sure you'll never forget Salvador Perez's major league debut in St. Petersburg.
Picked off a runner right away, caught about 5 foul balls, threw out a guy stealing. Yeah, welcome to the big leagues. You can stay a while.
You hear about a hitter hitting for the cycle. He almost threw for the cycle.
Right.
He picked off a runner at first, he picked off a runner at third, and he came within a foot of picking off a runner at second base in his first big league game. And you never want to fall into the trap of over evaluating a player in just one game, but I think we knew we had something special that day, didn't we?
Yeah, let's let him stay. Get him a room at the Vinoy.
2-1 on Matt Wieters. He has struck out 3 times today. He avoids the strikeout, but Escobar is there, and that is the inning. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for dropping by.
All right, I'll be with you in spirit tomorrow night.
Next
Thanks,
time,
Bob.
will you tell us when you're coming?
Okay.
All right.
I'll tell you.
All right. Bob Davis. Bottom of the 8th. Royals lead 5-1. Salvi's having a little fun with Nick Kenny. About 2 frames before you saw that on your screen, Salvi had his eyes closed, and knowing that Nick was going to be keeping a close eye on how he was feeling, and then a big smile came across his face.
Yeah, that ain't right. Salvi, come on. Well, you wonder if he'll be dumping the Gatorade after this one, if they can hold on.
Royals have scored in 4 straight innings. Rios, Orlando, and Infante against Rondon. This is his 2nd inning. Royals have another 10-hit game. They have the best winning percentage in the major leagues when they have 10 or more hits. And Rios has 2 of those hits. He has hit safely in his last 8 games. Only Infante and Dyson have been without a base hit today. He went too far. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A 1 hour 15-minute rain delay before the first pitch, and boy, you would never know now. It is just gorgeous. Davis fighting the sun, and the sun won.
Get 3 bags on it.
Boy, I don't know if he ever saw it. So Rios ends up at 3rd base with nobody out. And that is his 3rd hit. I don't think he'll get another at bat, but he's a home run shy of the cycle.
He'll take that first triple of the year, courtesy of the sun. And it's not pleasant at all when you're a fielder and you lose that ball in the sun. You're trying to stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. And about the time he picked it up, it was too late. Take what they give you.
And now Paulo Orlando grounds it out to Machado, so Rondon made a good pitch in on him. Orlando hit a long home run Last time up, he's driven in 2, and a chance for his 3rd RBI ends up in a ground out, 1 away. Rondon took over in the 7th inning and gave up the Moustakas RBI single. So now Infante, and back in the 4th inning, Infante batted with Rios at 3rd base and 1 out and failed to get him in with a ground ball to 3rd, so he gets another chance right here as the Royals are looking for a run in their 5th consecutive inning. And a tumbling play by Giannis. Infante's bat was destroyed by Rondon. 2 down.
Jam shot, almost landed in a base hit. Giannis having a day defensively and offensively. It's a nice play.
And he wasn't in the starting lineup.
Right.
Adam Jones in the 1st inning slammed into the wire wall in left center field. He finished that inning, and he came out defensively in the 2nd inning, but when Jones was scheduled to bat in the 3rd, Giannis replaced him.
Well, that's how you make the hitter move his feet, that's for sure.
We never did get any word from the Orioles clubhouse as to why Jones came out early, but it could have been a variety of things. Ground ball to 3rd. So the Royals had a runner at 3rd with nobody out. Rios is stranded, and now we go to the 9th inning. The Royals are 3 outs away from taking 3 out of 4, and we will get a non-save situation HDH, but good to see Herrera, Davis, and Holland with the Royals leading 5-1. Described as a cranky arm, and that goes back to the game a week ago Tuesday in Cincinnati when he warmed up 3 different times and then eventually got the save in the 13th inning. So with the big lead, the Royals have given him some time to let that arm calm down.
Well,
1 ball and 1 strike on Pierce.
Believe me, Holland's not the only one with a cranky arm out there this time of year. There's a lot of arms hanging. This is where you reach down and do the best you can. But you know, the fact that Ned Yost has banked so many wins this year and they have a nice lead, he has the luxury of not having to go to him and let him rest that arm. It's worked out. Nice to see Vargas.
Ball is carrying to left field, and Dyson calling up Orlando at the last moment.
Just off the end of the bat at a fastball at 90. It's not used to seeing Holland with a number like that, but look, Ned Yost, we talked about it earlier in the season when his velocity was down. Ned was saying, I don't care, he still knows how to get hitters out. And I mean, how many closers have been successful that didn't even throw 90?
Well, and Holland has proven this year, after going on the disabled list and coming back, and he had another stretch of games earlier this year where he didn't go on the disabled list, but he needed some time to recover. And now he's 0-2 with Scope. His physical makeup is such that the more he pitches, the stronger his arm is. Some guys are the opposite. The more time they have off, the more arm strength they gain. So he hasn't pitched since Saturday, and with a 4-run lead, probably just wants to throw strikes. That fastball's at 91. That ball is down. And Scope will go into second base with a 1-out double. Now, if Holland pitches 5 times in the next 10 days and he's still throwing 90, 91, well, the Royals might be a little more concerned. But he had a stretch of save opportunities earlier in the year before and after he went on the disabled list, and his fastball was only 91, 92, maybe 93, and then just a week or so ago he was back up to 95, 96. Ryan Flaherty, boy, he's had a heck of a series swinging the bat. He was 2 for 38, 2 for his previous 38 when this series began, and he doesn't look like that type of a hitter at all. He's hit 2 home runs and has made some loud outs. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He's a very talented player, no doubt, especially with that swing of his, and popping up a lot of balls during that time where he was struggling. Came out early, worked with his hitting coach Scott Coolbaugh, trying to stay on top of that ball and hitting the ball down, but man, he's found his home run stroke. He knows that he doesn't have great power, but he's got some pop. Wants to be able to get on base and utilize his ability. Holland going with the sliders.
Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Flaherty doesn't agree. That ball wasn't even close. That's what he told Bill Welke. Well, sort of close.
And it's getting late. Umpire's got a plane to catch.
Three and 2.
You know, the umpires, they don't have a chartered plane that they get on. It's waiting for them at the airport. They have to fly regular like everybody else flies. And So you wonder who keeps their schedule. Long delay like this, you know, they had earlier plans, I'm sure, but anyway, tough job of hitting this. That slider, beautiful. Good execution down the zone. Fans starting to feel it. What a nice little short homestand.
A little over 21,000 for an afternoon game on a school day. Let me take that back. A little over 31,000. Not sure if all 31,000 showed up today, but that's the paid attendance. 31,155. Royals, with the best home record in the American League, are 1 out away from their 8th consecutive home series win. Fair ball. Scope, who doubled, will score, and now Joseph has a double, and it's 5-2.
Joseph's telling himself, finally, I got a hit. Been all over the baseball in this series. Doesn't have much to show for it. Slider off the end of the bat. It's down, but it's out over the plate.
Manny Machado takes ball 1. One more base runner, and the Orioles would bring the potential tying run to the plate. At the knees, and now Machado is frustrated with the strike zone. Luke Hochevar warms up for a 3rd time today.
Some 94, that last pitch.
Yeah, so forget about his next few appearances. How about just his next few pitches picking up velocity?
Yeah, that's well located. He's staying down.
And that's a strike. 1-2. Now that's a fan listening to the game on the radio, taking a picture with one hand, and just in case there's a foul ball, a glove on the other hand.
It's a big one too.
Base hit left field. So Manny Machado down in the count, drives in Caleb Joseph. And Gerardo Parra comes to the plate as the potential tying run. And Dave Island's going to go out and have a little chat with Greg Holland. And now Parra 0 for 4. He has 5 home runs. And typically after him, Adam Jones would be coming up with 24 home runs, but Jones left the game in the 3rd inning with an injury. 95. So he's gone from 90 to 95 with his fastball in this inning.
And that's typically his range.
Back again with 95. Blocked by Sal. 2 balls, 1 strike. Three pitches for Holland, pitching for the first time since Saturday. And again, Holland has 2 strikes on a hitter.
Energy level starting to come up here at the K.
Out to Infante. And the Royals take 3 out of 4 from the Orioles. And they have won 8 consecutive home series.